Hi everyone, today fourth lecture on debate. Today we're going to learn about weighing. So I say weighing, but this can also be said in many words. It can also be prioritization, not the same, but I'm saying it's similar stuff. Could be debate strategy. Could be metrics. Could be uh, something like this. So let's start why we need to do weighing in the first place. So when you're debating, you can't actually win on everything. So there are clashes where you are able to win much more easily, and there are clashes that it's difficult for you to win. For example, in this house of ban smoking, government is going to win the clash on health. Because if you ban smoking, you're going to get a higher amount of health. The opposition, the best that they can do is mitigating the arguments about health that the government gives, but they cannot say that they get better health when you don't ban smoking. It doesn't make sense. And you will not be aiming to do that. So that's where the debate strategy comes in. The government says that health is important, and the opposition doesn't literally try to say that they get a better health when the motion is not passed. Then there's the opposition, and what they're going to win on is freedom. Government cannot win on freedom because it is obviously way more free if there is no law banning something. So the clash that is easy for each team to win for the government is health, and for the opposition is freedom. So obviously you got to prioritize this and prioritize what the important thing is here. And what government needs to do then is weighing about why health is better than freedom. Op, on the other hand, will talk about why freedom is better than health. They will need to prove this logically, and that is where weighing comes in general. Now, after doing this, this includes the process of weighing them directly, and while doing that, you say health is important, and you also say freedom is not important. So, and then after doing so, um, you will mitigate the argument on freedom. So even if you get some freedom, it's not really that important. The freedom that you get is not that big anyway. The freedom is compromised for other people. You're going to talk about that. Opposition is also going to mitigate on health then. Like, oh, the health doesn't really get that much bad. But that's just mitigation. That's just weakening the point a little bit. It's not trying to prove that directly. So basically, the prioritization that happens here is government saying that health is really important, ops saying that freedom is really important. It's as simple as that. And weighing is where health versus freedom. How do you do weighing? Weighing is done by any logical comparison between the arguments. So as long as you can explain why one is more important than another logically, then you have succeeded in weighing something. And you don't need to stress following a certain format, like I say often. But if you want to, there is some things you can follow. For example, the tools for weighing, which I like to call, but you know, you can see magnitude of impact, number of stakeholders. So in this case, it will be our impact is bigger than yours, right? Your harm is bigger than the small harm that we have. Number of stakeholders, we benefit more stakeholders, you benefit a small amount of stakeholders. Vulnerability to stakeholders would be the stakeholders that we protect are more vulnerable. So these are like standards of why our team weighs against your case. This would be our benefits that we get are more sustainable and will happen even in the future. Your side doesn't. Or urgency. Our side is the one that's proving the more urgent problem that is happening right now. Contingency. Your benefits are contingent on the benefits that we get. So without our benefit, you cannot get yours. And the similar sustainability. Now, one is propensity, but this is just like likelihood. So it's not really the conventional weighing that we do. Likelihood is just me logically arguing that my case is more likely than your case. So let's call it feasibility. And There are generally other tools too, but these aren't that important because you're not going to do weighing and search for 15 tools and then put it one. Because if you do, first of all, that's very time consuming. You're not going to have time to do that when you're a whip and you're trying to rebut to the DLO. But B, if you do that, it's going to be really mechanical. And if it's mechanical, then you're likely going to be under explaining it and it'll be super abstract and not feeling real and real logical and well explained anyway. So what you generally need to do is just logically explain why you weigh over their own case. And that would just be fine. So let's give an example in here. How would you argue that health is better than freedom? You would say that maybe talk about this. For you to have freedom, you need to be alive, you need to be well, you need to be not sick and not injured. However, when you smoke, these many people are not able to access those freedom. They don't have the freedom to live for a long time. They don't have the freedom to go out there and live their a full life. So therefore, health is more important than freedom. You can also talk about the number of stakeholders. Well, we believe that since we are able to prevent those with secondhand smoking, we not only benefit those who are that could have smoking, but also we benefit the ones that could have been around the ones that smoking, since we protect more people's health. Your side has freedom, but you don't respect the freedom that of the victims of secondhand smoking, and your side only respects the freedom of a very small number of people that decided to smoke. You can wait like that. In opposition, you can say freedom is more important than health because basically saying that people have the freedom to not choose health. So it is their own choice. That's what they want to do. And if health is not their priority, the government cannot force that upon it. The government cannot make them do it. So what you see is me not doing it super mechanically, but just me comparing freedom and health directly. Because um, if the debate just ends at, hey, we are free and you are not free, then that's going to be a parallel debate. So what's important is you directly weigh against the team. It's going to be done by all speakers in debate, inside of AP debate. It happens always, but most noticeably happens in the Gov Whip and the Op Whip. So that's it for weighing, and thank you guys for watching.